You know, I'm worried that Hillary Clinton is having a senior moment, shall we say, because now she's claiming the Uranium One scandal, you know, the one where the FBI report linked the Clinton Foundation to Russian bribery and extortion. She's saying that's been debunked. Debunked?
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
When was it debunked, Mrs. Clinton, and by whom? Nothing's been debunked except for the notion that you have an ounce of integrity in your body.
It's the same baloney they've been peddling for years, and there's been no credible evidence by anyone. In fact, it's been debunked repeatedly and will continue to be debunked.
Okay, that's not true. Really? There's no credible evidence? The Hill, which I would dare say is not a pro-Trump publication, exposed the evidence in the form of an FBI report. So claiming there was no credible evidence may have worked in the past, lady, but no mas. Clinton, or anyone on her team for that matter, has yet to counter anything the FBI report confirms. She knows that, which means she's just straight up lying. Show me where it was debunked, Mrs. Clinton. I want to see the page in that report that puts a nail in the coffin of this scandal and proves that everything you were accused of is, in your words, baloney. That evidence you know does not exist, and we refuse to let you slither away with sweeping lies in the hopes that if you say something enough times, people will be too exhausted to perpetually prove you wrong. We will not grow tired, and you will fail, just like you did in the 2016 election. Last week, The Hill reported that the FBI gathered a mountain of evidence, including financial records, secret recordings, and intercept emails that show Russian nuclear industry officials were engaged in bribery, kickbacks, extortion, and money laundering designed to grow Vladimir Putin's atomic energy business inside the United States. The report also says federal agents, quote, obtained an eyewitness account backed by documents indicating Russian nuclear officials had routed millions of dollars to the US designed to benefit former President Bill Clinton's charitable foundation during the time Secretary of State Hillary Clinton served on a government body that provided a favorable decision to Moscow. Again, this was just last week that we got new information on this, which means to make Hillary Clinton's statements even remotely true, someone from the Clinton camp would have had to give us evidence between last Tuesday and now that those payments had nothing to do with Uranium One deal. That hasn't happened. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt just for a second and assume maybe she's talking about Greg Price's sad attempt to debunk it in the liberal rag Newsweek. Price attempted and failed. He did a quote-unquote fact check, creatively titled, quote, did Russia send money to Bill Clinton's foundation like Trump says? And his conclusion was that they did. $145 million worth of payments went to Clinton Inc. But of course he actually can't say that. No. We must show how they got money, but then explain to our readers that they didn't actually get money. What? Why don't I read from his very scintillating piece, lest he accuse me of distorting his awful article. Mr. Price concludes, quote, all told, $145 million went to the Clinton Foundation from those linked to Uranium One and Eurasia, but it went to the charity organization. All right, first of all, the Clinton Foundation is not a charity. It's a scam of an organization and a mob that takes money from dictators who stone women to death in exchange for political favors. Those are my words, not his. Furthermore, he writes, most of these donations occurred before and during Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign. Well, of course they occurred before and during the campaign. That's how it works. They go to these people and they say, help me become president and I will help you get what you want. That's the definition of bribery and corruption, and the Clintons and the Obama administration were part of this deal. Price's final assessment in the Newsweek piece is this, and you're gonna love this one. Yes, the foundation received money and Bill Clinton was paid to give a speech, but there's no evidence the Clintons were paid by the Russians to push through the uranium deal. All right, well, no one is stupid enough to put that in official writing. What are they gonna do, right? We are being bribed right now by the Russians to push a deal, and that's why we are getting this money. Signed, the Clinton Foundation. No one's gonna do that, so it's a terrible argument. At the end of the day, this writer admits, yes, they got paid $145 million by the Russians before the uranium deal was pushed, but no evidence that they got paid by the Russians to push the uranium deal. It literally makes no sense. And yet that's what they're calling debunking? Give me a frickin' break. Clinton says this is a diversion tactic. Listen.
I have to give them credit. You know, Trump and his allies, including Fox News, are really experts at distraction and diversion. So the closer the investigation about real Russian ties between Trump associates and real Russians, as we heard Jeff Sessions finally admit to in his testimony the other day, the more they want to just throw mud on the wall, and I'm their favorite target, me and, President Obama.
I hate to tell you this, Clinton, but you've got it completely backwards. If anyone is throwing mud on the wall, it's you and it's the Democrats. And the real diversion is the fake news lie that Trump colluded with the Russians to win the elections. Unlike the eyewitness accounts and financial records discussed in The Hill, you've shown no evidence, and yet it's all the mainstream media has been able to cover for a year. You guys can't even tell us what the collusion was. First, it was the fake news campaign from the Russians, then it was that they tinkered with the votes, then it was that dossier, then it's some energy scam up in Vermont. I mean, talk about mudslinging. You're the ones throwing mud on the walls. What you're engaging in is not just a distraction and a diversion, it's literally one of the biggest misinformation campaigns in modern American history. You're using lies and made-up stories to divert everyone's attention away from the fact that you, allegedly the smartest woman in the world, lost to a reality TV star. You are distracting from the fact that you were an awful candidate. You ran a disgraceful campaign that even your party is embarrassed about. And your party has no ideas that appeal to everyday Americans. Your party, your legacy, and your respectability are over. They're done, debunked, and good night.